Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Sergeant Alex here, and what is the fourth attempt of last week's video? Um, Essentially, I came up with this. I call it a hydro farm. It's similar to the design what you're seeing here, a little couple differences and stuff. But I came up with that a while back. I posted a video on how it's made, and I decided to make a more up-to-date version with redstone and stuff because the original version is all manual. There's two sides to this. There's this side, which is the less design, redstone heavy, intensive, where water pushes everything to one end. On the more advanced side here, we just have some hoppers, which, to me, honestly, they serve no purpose. Yeah, it's easy collection, but you're walking that way to plant your crops anyways. So we're going to get into building it really, really quick. We're going to go through and grab our materials. I'm looking for a bucket of water, and then we are going to need trapdoors, upside down slabs, or something you can waterlog and walk over at the same time, some logs, dirt, dispensers, a lever, an observer block, and if we can activate flying mode here and delete a little chunk of this roof here, we can use we're going to need some redstone. And I'm going to show two ways of building this. The high end and low end version is the easiest way I can put it. But what we're going to start off is digging a trench, and on one side of that trench is going to be a log, and we're going to go down for as long as you want to. And at the end, place another log. And for repeating the whole design with redstones for long ones, I'm going to show how to do that. And you're going to have 3 logs on top of that in the end, so it's going to be a total 4 tall in the end with logs. And then on that 4th log there, you're going to place your dispensers facing down, observer facing down, so you can see the little face, and you place the lever on his little eyeballs there. So pretty much just a suction cup, a lever to his head. And then you're going to walk down and place all your dispensers facing down so you can launch out water. And this is where I decided that I'm going to show how to make multiple units, which you are going to need repeaters for. So I recommend having a log, 14 dispensers, then do another log. So your redstone signals can go on forever, theoretically. I'm just going to go too wide on this because it's just for demonstration purposes. And dispensers facing down. And then on top of your dispensers there, you're going to be placing water. And you want to make sure it's dispensers because droppers are just going to drop the bucket of water. Dispensers will dispense the water and take it back in for the whole system there. Next, you want to fill this little channel with water. Make sure everything's nice source blocks. And then I did trapdoors on the top so you could walk over there and there's still water to hydrate the farm. And the trapdoors look nice. You could use half slabs. It's whatever you have that is available for you. You could easily mix up the blocks and stuff and make a more elaborate and creative design than what I have here. This is just what I made years ago, and I'm sticking to that palette pretty much. And now I am scrolling through to find the proper farming equipment. The first thing we're going to need is seeds, and there's some around here. Preferably not melon seeds. Some grass seeds, so you can grow some wheat, carrots, potatoes. Is pretty much beetroot, I think, is the other one you can grow. And then you're going to need yourself a diamond hoe because that is the first thing you spend your diamonds on in survival. And I'm in creative mode, so I can just magically spawn it. And then on each side of that little line of trapdoors, which is our water source, you go 4 blocks. You can go more, up to a total of 7 or 8. I'm not sure how far the water goes out. And if you do that, you do want to make some more water sources so that area is hydrated, but only for the design that I'm doing here. And pop over on the other side. And pretty much between the logs is where your gardens are going to be. On this one, I am showing that you can section off things versus the other one where I just did the whole area. Here I'm just going to do a little section. I decorate it, make it look nice. And for the whole sectioning off thing, I'm just going to do some sideways logs to make a nice little border. And you could do this on the other side, but again, hoppers are going to get in the way of everything. So whatever works best for your world. If you have a iron farm before those get broken by the update and fixed probably 10 minutes later, yeah, go ahead and use hoppers, but I really don't see a purpose in them. I'm just putting them in here to show that you can do that. And then make sure you plant your crops. I skipped that and putting the water buckets in the dispensers. Each one's going to need its own dispenser. And to keep the water from flowing everywhere and making a mess, I just took some buns and went back and forth with the colors of stone, and I believe I used spruce buns. and adds a nice little border, makes it look nice and pretty. And I'm doing it on this side because the other side's going to get walls and buttons, as you can see right here. But first, grabbing the hoppers, and time to do the little automatic collection. So we're going to need a chest and hoppers, and pretty much the same as everything else. Little spot, put your chest there, and then just run hoppers into that and wrap it around the farm. And it's going to help. It'll gather everything in that one chest for you, and it might work well on larger ones, but again, you're going to be going to planting the crops. You're going to be grabbing the resources pretty much immediately. So save a couple of stacks of iron for this and just do it manually is my recommendation. So you're going to wrap hoppers around. You could do the last little stretch there, but I really didn't see your need to. Maybe like 1 or 2 carrots or something will get stuck there. But for the most part, everything just gets pushed to the end. So I just used little sideways logs there as I did on the more prettier side and less redstone intensive. And now time for the roof, which I actually did mess up on this design. For the little one I just grabbed all the resources from, you can see there I used the daylight sensors. For this one, I'm just going to use redstone signals and keep the redstone lamps on permanently. Or you could just go easy and get yourself some glowstone. And this way everything's lit up and looks nice. And we are going to be needing a solid block of whatever you choose. And it's matching half slabs. And for if you're doing the redstone lamps, you're going to want a stair version. But we'll get to that in a minute. You're going to do 2 lines, and then on the third one is where you're going to be placing your lights. So you want to figure out some nice spacing and stuff. I do mess up here. I have some wood on the observer, which you don't want to do. You want to go from log to log, not log to observer. And I do realize I made that issue in a little bit, and then correct it. So lighting is going to be off of this video. Just double check everything when you're building it, and everything should work out nice and smooth. And then for right now, I'm placing the levers on top of the lights so they work and they're on, look nice and pretty. And then we're going to take one more line of our solid block, and then on that we're going to go off with some half slabs. So 4 blocks and then half slabs, and you're going to come over to the other side and do the exact same thing. So 2 lines out, and then you're going to do your lights and then fill the gaps in with wood, and then do another line of wood. This is where I realized that I placed on the observer, and I could have left it there, but the roof is going to look weird. It would be 1 block longer on one end versus the other, and I want this thing to be nice and symmetrical and look pretty. So from log to log, not log to observer. That was my mistake, and I realized when it was a little bit too late. So on this side, I'm copying the exact same locations for the lights, and I'm placing in glowstone just to show different designs and stuff to help you figure out what you want to do. And this is where I'm mulling over in my head. Do I want to do the wooden blocks there, which I don't? So now I'm just working on the end cap, which you got to remember to do that one last line over the lights, and then some half slabs. And then all you have to do is bring this down into like a little pyramid, make a nice point with the solid blocks, and then on the ends there, just place your half slabs to give a nice little point. And you do this on both ends. And if you want to, you could do your typical A-frame, but there is a little bit reason why I'm did it that way, and I will show you towards the end more with the whole storage idea that I have. But for now, triangle, little pointy with solid blocks, and then half slabs on that. And then we're pretty much doing like a half slab A-frame, I want to call it, and you're just working your way up with half slabs, copying the little points at the end. And this is where you have to move your levers back on your redstone lamps there. They do still work, but they are in the way for being on top of the lamps, and you do have to do if you're going to be doing the lamps with the levers, you do have to do a specific way, and I will show how to make that look nice in the end. But for now, we're just going to pretend they don't exist and just go around with our half slabs, and then we're going to do pretty much the same thing again with the full blocks back to half slabs, and I think we finish off with a line of full blocks down the middle. And this covers up all the redstone and makes it nice and pretty, minus the levers, which I will get to that in a second. That's why you need the stair blocks. We are going to cover it, and one of the things that did cross my mind is, at this point, if you did change to another block, it would look nice. looking pretty. So maybe have the bottom oak and the top part a darker wood like dark oak. Or you go for spruce and then some cobblestone. Some nice contrasting colors that would go well together. And then we're just going to finish filling on everything. And then we will get on to hiding those levers on the end there. So the entire roof's covered. I'm going to grab the stair block really quick. And then we are going to fly over, and pretty much wherever there's a lever, you're going to remove that half slab and swap it out with a stair. And you're probably figuring out what we're doing and why the contrasting colors would look nice. And we're going to place the half slab right on top of those levers. So a nice little detail hides the levers and all the little redstone and looks nice and pretty. You have a nice decorative roof. And now to give this some more structural support, we're going to go around with, I did a wall and a fence, two colors that match nicely. I think I did the spruce and stone brick wall or stone wall, the stone fencing pretty much. So I'm marking out on the corners there and then the little points of the triangle, and we're coming down with two little blocks of the fence there, and then the bottom portion is just going to be the wall of whatever you choose, just to make it look nice and add some little bit more detail to it all. So two fencings there, and if you had multiple logs in the middle for length and to make it nice and long, I would add fencing there just to kind of make it look like it's nice and supportive, give it a little bit of decoration. And here we are going around with our logs, and for the one sitting in the grass there, just to kind of tie it all in, I did grab the logs that we used in the main build itself and just did them sideways to make sure it looked like it was connected and everything. I did do a little diagonal with the wood in the first plate in the first build that I've been referencing, and then just some planks in the middle there, which makes a nice little area where you can put some chests for some storage and stuff. I do a quick little demonstration towards the end. But for next bit, for the more high end, I want to add a nice little wall here. So I am grabbing some spruce trapdoors and oak trapdoors. And the bottom layer is going to be the spruce, and then on top of that is going to be two layers of the oak. And the oak has little holes and stuff through, so they're nice little windows. Looks like they let light through. While the spruce is more of a regular wall. But I think the two blocks with each other look nice, and it ties in well with the oak roof. And I'm using like spruce poles, I think spruce logs and spruce buttons. Spruce tends to be one of my more favorite woods in the game. And you want to make sure your trapdoors are laying down, because if you try to place them on standing up, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt. So lay down your trapdoors, place them all, and then just come back and make them all and flick them all up. So you have this nice little decorative wall. And I did do a one line of oak trapdoors on the top portion in the first little like testing design. And one thing you do want to remember to do is add a little bit of the button design. You could use signs or something. It's essentially something just to stop the water flow from going too far, since we are not at the water's limit for flowing, which I believe is 8 blocks from the source, or little drop-offs and whatever. It's just to stop the water, make sure everything's in a nice neat line, and you're not going to be destroying anything. So we should be good. So if we flick this lever, it activates the observer, which sends a pulse, turns on all the dispensers, shoots water out, and you give it a couple seconds, flick it again, pulse goes down again, sucks in all the water. The hoppers are collecting the seeds and wheat, and over here they're in a nice neat line for you to just walk down and grab everything and conveniently walk your way back and plant. So I can plant everything again, and if you have the hoppers, just have to go look in the chest, wait for everything to collect. And it's whichever design you want to do. I wanted to show both off in this video. So everything's collecting in there. I didn't give enough time, so not much wheat grew. I just wanted to show that it actually does work. And over here you can see where I was talking about the logs and the oaks and the little diagonals to give a nice flooring section. And this just gives you a little bit of room so you can place some chests, so you don't have to go too far, a little bit easier on the bulk storage there. And that is pretty much the design. You want to be careful about making sure you have adequately placed water source blocks before I forget about mentioning that. And it's pretty much nice and easy. Quick setup in the beginning of the game. I think the only thing you really need is some quartz from the nether, which is what, 1 or 2 pieces for an observer. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. I love reading comments down below, so please feel free to comment. what you thought about it, what changes you would. If you do make it yourself and want to send me a picture, please hit me up on Twitter with that. I would love to see it. And speaking of Twitter, I do post every once in a while on there when I'm streaming. So if you want to catch me while I'm streaming Minecraft or some other game, just keep an eye on there. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button because I always have more content coming on the way. And other than that, that is it. So this is Sergeant Alex, and I do hope you have a nice day.